I really think that Mark's greatest gift to Urban was to take this alternative, hippie, touchy-feely, I don't necessarily take it serious kind of school and turn it into a top-notch contender. The education here at Urban is second to none. The commitment to excellence is second to none. A real educational model that not only creates great students, but creates great human beings. And I think that's really his greatest gift.
It was 1966. I was 13 years old. I remember hearing about this new school that was going to start, and I was curious. I actually went for a series of interviews with 3 of the first teachers. They asked me about who I was and what I was interested in. So I ended up being one of the first 22 students to enroll. But I started in 1966, and I think that, the school was much more alternative. It was the late 60s. It was, the school didn't have a rule book, believe me, in terms for student conduct or behavior.
Honestly, the school was ratty around the edges, and it was colorful and idealistic, enterprising, fun, and it was also fundamentally insecure, and it wasn't clear that it would be around for another generation.
I was actually on the hiring committee when we hired Mark, and there was a national search for a director at that time, and it became very clear that a director from the outside wasn't going to make it. They did not understand the urban school, and Mark did. It was amazing because even at that time, he had a clear sense of what he wanted to do.
I think I was very young when I took this job on, but I felt being an insider rather than just being somebody who has maintained what Urban was or the status quo at that time, has been able to be a change agent. And of course I've had time to do that. 3 decades is a good bit of time.
Well, to a certain extent, it was always a 21st century school in terms of its mindset and the way it approached students and engaged them and their view of the role of independent school in a broader society. And so the facilities more or less lagged where Urban had been.
Urban's always kind of been working in terms of facilities or school building. It's always been working with 1 or possibly 2 hands tied behind its back. It's always had too little, not enough. And over the 30 years I've been here, we've done a great job at enrolling more students. The school's gotten more popular. So I think growing the physical structures of the school has been a through line of my 30 years, and it's been a huge challenge.
The school during that period of time grew from 170 students to almost 400 students, and it encompassed 2 or 3 major building projects, and it encompassed building out a new library and some more classrooms, which was a major accomplishment.
Also, it was a very exciting time of Urban's lifespan as we were raising the funds and developing the plans for the Mark Salkind Center. And Mark was absolutely tireless in terms of articulating the vision, the why for this building, and ensuring that it's properly designed as well as funded.
One of the greatest strengths of Mark is his absolute ability to balance the dreams about innovation and how to do this with absolutely the harsh realities of limited resources.
Mark has been the school's most tireless advocate and champion, and at the same time, he's been the school's most incisive and ambitious critic. And it's the twofold aspect of Mark that has driven Urban's emergence, really.
If you're thinking about the 30-year arc, a very important focus of the work for Urban that I was absolutely committed to was making the school more diverse, and particularly more diverse in terms of students of color. That this is really a school for San Francisco. And if it's a school for San Francisco, it cannot only enroll a very kind of narrow segment of the population. It needs to reach out to students from different walks of life and backgrounds, and that kind of diversity is what actually enriches every student's education.
When I was a student here, I can't say that I really knew how much of an impact he had until I came back and my daughter was a student and I served on the board. But I think especially in terms of the commitment to diversity, Mark has been a real leader in that area. And Urban could have very easily just, said, we've got the kids in the door, we've increased financial aid, we're done. But no, continuing to ask the hard questions and continuing to have the hard conversations is really what at the end of the day has made Urban such a great place.
Certainly his embrace of technology is a legacy. We were one of the very first schools in California to have a one-to-one laptop program for high school students, and very quickly we became expert.
The school's pioneering use of digital technology has really evolved, and I think the most compelling aspect of that evolution has been the development of the Urban X Labs program. And Urban X Labs is really Urban's integration of science, technology, engineering, design, the arts, computer programming. And it's an effort to integrate those disciplines in a way that they are so often integrated in the real world, and to have students actually learn how to solve real world problems. So this aspect of what I think the most important thing you take with you when you leave Urban is that capacity to learn how to learn. My tombstone will say he went to Urban, period, full stop. Was it worth it? Graduates sometimes ask me, or people say, well, do you love your job? Is it fun? And it's not fun always, day to day, but I can't think of a more meaningful way to have spent my time.
I love how Mark always gives the kudos back to everyone else, and that's what a great leader does. But I do definitely hope that he can really own his contribution to this place.
I just want him to know I appreciate the many, many hours that he put into making this school what it is and supporting what I do. It's been a wonderful place to work because he has given me that security and the backing 100%.
What has inspired me most about Mark is it's not about him. And then also just the gift of having Urban as a partner to aim high. And so I want Mark, when he thinks about, the long list of things to be proud of, I'm hoping aim high is in the top 5 or 10.
What I would really like Mark to know is that all of us that had the opportunity to work with him recognize him as an absolute treasure. And it's hard for me to imagine that the roots of his work are not so deep that they will stabilize and be a real foundation for the continuing evolution of Urban.
I think Mark really taught me how to lean into life, into academics, into every aspect, even my social life, and just take risks. There may be a high reward, but there also are some challenges with that, and from those challenges you'll be able to grow and become a better person from it. So I think that's what Mark's legacy and his gift to all of Urban is going to be.